Hello everyone, this is Oliver from Neo, and today we are going to talk about the special topic, and this is how can you judge a tea and if a tea is sweet. So I want to really pick up the easiest way to discover if a tea is sweet, or how can you orientate yourself with a sweeter, or what tea is actually the sweetest. And the simplest way you can do this is actually by looking if the tea has been shaded. So what happens actually before the harvest is that if the sun touches the leaves, the theanine, which is more the sweeter part and the more savory part in the tea plant, converts into catechins. And catechins are very good for detox, but they also bring the astringency or the bitterness of the tea with them. So if you really want to avoid, or if you're looking for a sweet tea, the best way is to really look out or watch out for the darkest leaves, and with the darkest leaves also look that the tea which you're buying has no stems with it. So I brought you here three different examples. So here we have a shaded Fukamushicha, so a deep steam tea, which is also known to be sweeter due to the longer steaming of the tea itself. And what you can see is that really the leaves here, they are really dark. So a dark tea or dark shaded teas, so full of theanine and much lower in catechins, so in bitter particles. So this one here is, for example, a great example for a shaded and beautiful sweet tea with a nice lychee note. Second one is a more a lower grade sencha compared to this Fukamushicha, and already here you can see that the tea leaves, they are on the one side, they are thicker, they are brighter, so they are less dark, they contain less theanine in this case, and they also contain some stems. So what you can see here, for example, is a stem of the tea, and stems in particular, they make the tea a little bit more earthy, a little more wooden, but also there's a strength and there's a strongness coming with this taste of more minerals in the tea. So the tea is a little bit stronger and often carries with it a little bit more astringency. There are also different types of stem teas, but in general you can really say if you want to avoid more astringent teas, then you should go over to shaded teas, so darker leaf teas. And this one here, it's still a very nice quality sencha, but it also is tea which is from the nature of it a little bit more astringent and a little bit stronger, and a little bit rougher also in taste. And in general, what you might say, and here I brought you, for example, a beautiful kukicha with it. So a kukicha is actually the most mineral containing tea due to the stems, so it's very strong in minerals. What I observe personally is that I really have a good digestion with this tea, so the minerals are really helping my body to burn also and to be better in the digestions. But in taste wise, so looking for a soft and sweet tea, what the stems bring with them, so you can really see that this is around 40% stems and 60% leaves. And here with this tea you directly have a stronger hay note and a little bit more of a drier note, and also a little bit of an astringent or more acid note also coming with the tea, coming from the high mineral content in the tea. But let's leave this kukicha at the moment on the side. So we're gonna just taste-wise compare the sencha which I presented you before against the Fukamushicha. So you really can see here you have a lower and darker leaf tea, and here a little bit a brighter leaf tea. Same amount of tea using the same kyushus. So we're really gonna have a good comparison. So we just put in the teas in here, and just fill it up. 70 degrees Celsius water, it might cool down on 67, 68 degrees now. So between 65 and 70 degrees is a very good temperature, and we just gonna leave it in for 1 minute, and when the minute is done, we gonna compare the taste of these two teas. So what you could see before is here we really got very finely rolled leaves as well, and here we have a more of a rougher, a little bit less fine rolled tea leaves mixed with some stems, and here really no stems, so only the upper parts, the smaller leaves and the finer leaves are used for this tea here, but both of the tea are from the Yabukita cultivar, which is the general cultivar, the most common cultivar. Around 80% of all the tea in Japan is Yabukita, and the Japanese people, they like this cultivar especially because it reflects a lot of different taste notes, also a little bit of astringency coming with it, but here we will see that it is much sweeter and much softer than with this one here. But let's see if I was really right. So we're gonna taste these two teas, and already in color we will see that there's a difference of these two teas. So I put the glasses back that you can see the difference. So first we take like the, let's say, normal sencha. Still a good quality tea, there's no doubt about it, but for this case here, I would say this one here has a little bit of a rougher taste, but let's see if I was right. So taking out also the Fukamushi, pouring it in. So what you can see, very similar amount of water, not exactly the same, but very close. So a good comparison of these two teas possible, but already in the liquid you can see also when you do normal or kind of a dark shaded tea, there comes out this much brighter and stronger liquid. Here with the Fukamushi, this color is even more intense because the Fukamushi is a stem tea, and with the is a tea which is deeper steamed, and with the deeper steamed tea you definitely have more particles also. It breaks a little bit more easy, and here then you have a stronger jade green color which is coming from this tea. And here a normal sencha, what you can see really, the color difference is quite impressive already. So I would say here we really get more of this grassiness, but I think they will swing with it a little bit more of the of this astringent and a little bit more acid note. So let's go into the tasting of this tea. So already in the nose it has a little bit more of a cereally taste. Here we have a lot of sweetness, a lot of green, like a light fresh spinachy note which comes with it, but also a lot of like a floral note, fruity note, like kind of a not yet ripe mango a little bit, or rather more papaya. So here we got a much more sweet and floral note. Well, here we are really in the cereally more haze, also a little bit more haze, not fresh spinachy, but here we have more of a hay or dry summer grass note. So let's go into the tasting. It's quite smooth in the beginning. There's a little bit of earthiness swinging with it. I would say this comes also from the stems or parts of stems which are in the tea. There's a little bit of a astringency, and it's very dry on top of the tongue. So there's a lot of dryness with this tea. So I think there will be, in my opinion, a lot of tannins in this tea. And there's a certain astringent note swinging with it. in the middle, especially in the middle, there's a stronger note of astringency coming with this tea. So it would be interesting to see then the second steeping of this one here. So here, more cereally, more earthy, a little bit of astringency swinging with it, and there's not a lot of sweetness. Now it's coming up, a little bit of sweetness I have in my mouth, but definitely more earthy and cereally and drier with this tea here. So now let's go to the Fukamushicha Yamaga, which we have from the farmer Sato. So, as I said, very sweet in the nose. Let's see what the taste is like. And here really the difference is now remarkable. Here I have a much more creamy note also, a smooth, sweet note. There's a little bit of acidity which comes from a sencha, which is normal also from a sencha. But there's a lot of sweetness, a floral note, really a bright, kind of a long, wide, sweet taste, and then letting space for the umami, which lets a little bit taste also for the savory note, which you know from Japanese green tea. But in general, have a much more sweeter, lighter, fresh taste than with this here. We have a more of an earthy, dry, and more a wooden note coming from this tea. So this is the main difference. So if you're really looking for something sweet, really stick or go with shaded teas, dark shaded teas. Ask your tea shop. It should be shaded between 10 and 15 days for a sencha, or you can even go from 15 to nearly 25 days for Gyokuro, which is then the strongest shaded tea. But here already with a Fukamushi, we have around 15 to 16 days of shading. This one here is much sweeter than the sencha we have coming from also the same cultivar, but just a very different way of doing this tea. Good. That is it. I hope you liked this small session about how to choose your sweetest sencha or your sweetest Japanese green tea. If you have any question, ask us and don't hesitate. I wish you a great evening. Bye.